Winning Shot family, what's going on? We are back with another episode. We live and direct on YouTube. So good morning to everyone who's watching us live. Thank y'all for tapping into another episode of the Winning Shot podcast. We're here with your hosts, Hundo and me, John. We appreciate y'all tapping in. We are excited about today's episode. It's been a long time since we talked about this topic, so my apologies. I know Hundo's really been on it. So my apologies for not really being where I needed to be. But now I'm really here. I'm ready to give some authentic takes on sports. That's what we do here at the Win a Shot podcast. Before we get started, Hundo, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. We're gonna see how this weather is this weekend out here. They saying it's gonna be nasty. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
But hopefully everybody out here staying safe and staying warm.
No, that's a fact, brother. That's a fact indeed. Let's get straight into it, brother. Today we're talking about college women's hoops, brother. It's been a long time, honestly, since I've had the opportunity to get on here and talk about it. And so once again, my apologies because there's been a lot of good things happening this season. I have been watching off and on in the background, so I ain't really been all the way out the way, but I just haven't really been on the podcast with it. You feel me? So I had to come and bring my takes and my opinions to the podcast today. Hundo, you are what I call the residential expert in these women college hoops because you definitely are tapped in a lot more than I've been this season. And I'll be honest, this season in the NFL is taking a lot out of me with the Ravens and what we've been had going on. And so college women hoops, when it started, I was not paying attention at all because I was trying to see the Ravens made the playoffs. We didn't. So, now that that's all over and done with, I've had the opportunity now to step into women's college sports. And I've loved what I've seen. Like I said, I've been watching off and on, but now I'm really more tapped in. Hundo, as the residential expert here on the podcast, brother, what have you seen this season? Just from let's give me an overall standpoint of the college game. Has it lived up to the hype of what we expected coming into the season? And then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, man. I think women's college basketball is in a good spot right now. We've seen over the past few years competitive play from a lot of different teams, right?
Yeah.
And we are continuing to see that this season. Top teams facing top teams. We talked about the non-conference schedules. Yeah. Now we're in conference play now. SEC is deep. Big 10 is deep.
Yeah.
Big 12 is deep. So a lot of your bigger conferences got a lot of teams that are ranked right now, and it makes for good basketball night in and night out. And we saw that, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but we saw that the other night with Oklahoma and South Carolina. And then South Carolina turns right back around tomorrow, depending on the weather, and they play Vanderbilt, who's a top 10 team. So we got a lot of good teams that's out here, a lot of good players that's out here. Audi Crooks is having a great season. Iowa State has dropped a few games recently, but she's having a great season. Sarah Strong, AZ Fuzz having a great season. We got some good hoops out here, man. We got some good hoops, and it's gonna make for an exciting March as we, get through January and enter February. March is gonna be exciting.
Yeah, definitely agree, brother. You said it's definitely when I've been watching some of these hoops, I'm like, okay. Some names I hadn't necessarily heard of before. I had heard of Audi Crooks. She's still been hooping. Last season when she came in as a freshman, hooping. This year she continued on her sophomore campaign, and at one point she was leading the country in double-doubles, if I'm not mistaken, or points per game, something to that effect. And she was really just getting after it. And they were undefeated last time I checked. I know they're no longer undefeated, but when I was watching them, Audi was doing her thing. Audi was cooking this year, and it's led to success in Iowa State. And I think, a lot of that had to do with, obviously Big Sis was Iowa. Iowa had them in a chokehold for years. Caitlin Clark was there doing her thing for 4 years, and they couldn't beat her at all. And then now that she's gone, it's like, we actually have an opportunity now. And then they brought in Audi last year, and she's been dominant, 6'3". She's a big, she's cooking. She was cooking early on. I think, like I said, now they've suffered some losses, but we'll see what is to come for them as the season progresses and they enter into these conference play towards the end of February. So yeah, man, it's been a very strong season. I've been excited to see, some people like, Miss Latson. How is she going to transition over to USC? How is Jazzy Davidson going to take USC California, with no Juju this year? We've seen a lot this year. So there's a lot of good information to get into, brother. I'm going to let you, like I said, take the wheel and take the forefront of the conversation. I would just give my opinion as you lead us today.
But Nah, just a little small correction. Audi is a junior.
Oh,
It's,
she's a junior.
yeah.
Oh,
So like you said, she's been hooping. She leads the country in scoring,
yeah,
but they had a couple of injuries to a couple of starters.
yeah,
They've been missing. Like I said, they dropped what 4 in a row, 5 in a row, something like that.
yeah,
But they just beat Cincinnati. They just smacked Cincinnati the other night. And then they play Arizona today, which should be a win. Arizona's pretty competitive, but
yeah.
they should beat them today. So we'll see, man. She's definitely been dominant. One question I do have for you, like, do you think her game will translate to the WNBA? I know that's a conversation we had in the group chat before.
Yeah. I think I'm on a different pattern because she's 6'3", right? And I think her game in college is easy, right? Back them down, big body, boom, we'll get a bucket. In the league, these are grown women. You know what I'm saying? I've always said this. So like now it's no longer these young women who could maybe 18. You facing Asia Wilson, BG off rip. You know what I'm saying? And at 6'3", is she gonna be able to be a big? Like I'm like, Angel Reese, 6'3", went into the league, still getting her rebounds, still able to score. So will she have that kind of impact in the league? Or, Asia Wilson, 6'3", 6'4". Asia Wilson's obviously at a whole different level than everybody. But at her 6'3", 6'4", she's dominant. I don't know if Audi's gonna have that kind of level, but I don't know if she's also gonna be Angel either. So it's like, I think she'll be able to get boards. I know at one point, people in the chat were saying, she may be fighting for minutes, this and that. It depends on the team that she goes to. Is the team that she goes to get drafted to, will they need a big, right? You look at someone like an AE, right? She went into the league in Washington, started off hooping, got doing her thing, but now she got traded, correct? Then she got traded to the Connecticut now, right?
Yeah.
Because of Miss Kiki. Kiki came in the year after out of USC, 6'3". Another one, big, getting her buckets, doing what she needs to do. So the W is a whole different thing, man. It's really a year-by-year basis. So for me personally, if she goes to a team who is in need of maybe a 4, because I don't know if she's can't play the 5. I don't think so for sure. But the 4 is also gonna be tough for her because when you look at a 4, you're looking at somebody who can score consistently, and I don't think that's her game either. So she'll have to develop a shooting game outside of backing down and turning around. So I think that's tough. It depends on the team for sure. She's gonna need a little extra help. I don't think she's gonna be a dominant big in the league at all. Because like I said, then you got to go against Angel Reese and these kind of players, and her defense is not the best. I'm be honest. It's not the best. So as I'm thinking about her going into the league and playing against Angel Reese, I think Angel Reese gives her some work. I'm be honest with you. Like Angel Reese gives her some work. AE gonna give her some work. All the girls in the league right now are honestly gonna give her some work. Now, will she score? She's gonna score because she's a big body, right? Like Angel's also not gonna be able to stop her from getting down and backing her down. I know Angel's tough, don't get me wrong, but I think she can still give Angel a couple buckets too. So she has some things to work on. Is her game transferable though? I think so. Because at 6'3", a big body, you just gotta be big. Be big. You know what I'm saying? We've seen bigs not be big. I think that's always been my issue, men's or women's. The bigs not being big. Like I'm used to bigs being dominant, right? And so, like, Shaq. And unfortunately, there's only one Shaq. A lot of bigs just ain't Shaq. You get, until Wemby came into the league recently, the bigs were they cool. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Jokic. Jokic is obviously a dog, but Jokic is a unicorn. You got Embiid, being Embiid, but there's only one Shaq. That's the most dominant big of all time, in my personal opinion. So, when I think about that, I also think about that in the women's side too. Asia, dominant big. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some bigs just don't do it. I thought Camilla could come in to be a dominant big. She is not proven to be a dominant big in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, Audi has to show me, and she showed me this year in college, yes, but transitioning over to grown women, we got to be able to transition that being a dominant big into the W. So, to answer your question, can it be done? It's possible. But she's got to find her lane. You always tell us this: find your lane, and excel in it. She got to find her lane as a big.
Yeah, and me and Colin, we were talking about this. I think like last week. I was just texting him about it, but I was telling him like a lot of these players that's going into the W, like when they go to these teams, they aren't necessarily going to be the focal point of the offense. Right. So yes, she's leading women's college basketball in scoring this year.
Yeah.
But she's the focal point of the offense for Iowa State.
Yeah.
When she gets to the league, she's gonna be fighting for minutes. So it's like, okay, if I'm not going to be the focal point of the offense, how can I make an impact on the court to get minutes? And I think that's where she's going to struggle at, because she doesn't necessarily do anything spectacular outside of scoring. Like we said, her defense is not a little. Her defense is suspect.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the video. I know you've been off social media or whatnot, but like it ain't like a compilation of her just like playing defense. She wasn't even trying, bro. Like she was just standing there, like, you know, the video of the security guard that was like patting down the people.
Yeah.
It was almost like that, bro. But like on the basketball court.
Dang.
That was trash, bro. So like I feel like she has to find, like you said, like she has to find her lane. Like, what is she going to be good at? Like we said, Angel, she's a dominant rebounder. That's what she's good at. That's how she made her mark getting to the league and being in the league.
Yeah.
She made that same impact, being a dominant rebounder. Asia Wilson, dominant on both sides.
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
He, dominant on both sides. Stewie, dominant on both sides.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to be great at?
Yeah.
You have to find something that you're going to be great at to get minutes, because we've seen it. We've seen players get traded. We've seen players get cut. We've seen players not play.
It's true.
That were first round picks.
It's
It's like,
very true.
you got to find a way to get on that court. So
gotta find a way to get on that court.
If she can figure out a way to get on the court and stay on the court, she'll be fine. She'll be able to translate. If not, she'll just be another first round pick that didn't pan out.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And I hate it though, because like Audi's tough. Like she's on the offensive side. On the offensive side, she's very tough. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, you have to be able to, that's one thing I've always respected about basketball, is that you got to be good at both to be, to be tough, right? You can't just be, I'm gonna go get mine and then let my opponent get 40 off me too. Like that's just not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta make a stand at some point, right? You gotta stand for something, you're gonna fall for everything. So man, yeah, your 15 and 7, 17, 14 is cool, but your ops scoring and you can't stop them, you losing, which is what they're doing. They lost 5 straight. Crazy streak. So against winnable competition at that, they lost one of those 2, Cincinnati, who they just blew out the other night. So it's just like, how do you, as the team captain now, Audi, how do you turn it around, right? And bring your team back to prominence? Because at one point they're top 15 in the country. Now you're not even ranked. So, how do you bring that energy into conference tournaments and then the NCAA tournament as well, right? Do you want to actually make a run to further solidify your name? Yeah, you got one more season for sure. But let's be dominant. Let's keep up the dominance that you averaging 26, 7, and 1 right now. You know what I'm saying? Which is not bad for a center. You know what I'm saying? In college. So, like you said, you got to bring something to that defensive edge. Now, quick switch before I know you want to, because we're gonna go polar opposite. One of my favorite hoopers in college right now, Miss Sarah Strong. Ooh wee! When you talk about doing it on both sides of the ball, hundo, this young woman right here got game, and she's 6'2", hooping, crazy, gonna give you a bucket and lock you down on the defense side of the ball too. Now, she does come from a basketball pedigree. Both her parents hooped, but I mean, she is, my goodness, she is by far my favorite person this year in college, and I love Audi. Audi's up there too. She's definitely top 5, but number 1, Sarah Strong. Hands down. She's already the number 1 pick. If she was coming out this year, number 1 pick. She's not coming up for another, 2 years?
Yeah.
If you already number 1 pick in that draft class too. It'll make a difference. And that's how you know for me is real dominance. Because as a freshman last year, she would have been number 1 overall pick last year too. And that's hands down my personal opinion. I know Paige went 1, but Sarah on that team was also a very big catalyst in the winning that championship last year as well.
Yeah, but I don't think they win it without Paige.
Yeah, they probably don't win it without Paige. But this year right here at 20-0, guess who's the catalyst this year, hundo? Hands down.
Hey.
Hands down. Best, and once again, my personal opinion, one of the best players, if not the best player in the country. Miss Sarah Strong. I call her Baby Jokic because she be getting after it. Anyway, anything you want a bucket, you want a board, you want a dime, she gonna get it to you. That's why they bought her. That's why they bought her to UConn. And what's crazy is I didn't even really peep she was from North Carolina the whole time.
Yeah,
Did she get the USC offer from South Carolina?
I'm
Because I
pretty
didn't.
sure
When I
she
looked
did.
at her, huh?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Okay, because I was
If
looking at her profile, I didn't say that she had that offer. I was like, that's crazy. Because
I
her
was about
mom
to say
played with Don.
they might not have made USC might not have made her like finalist list, but like I'm pretty sure she had an offer from USC.
Yeah.
I feel like Don would be kind of dumb. It would be a bad look
No, fact.
if she didn't offer, the number one player in the
Oh, in
country,
the country.
number two player in the country, whatever she was,
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's from North Carolina, bro. Like her and Joyce Edwards played in a holiday basketball tournament that's in like South Carolina, and they were going at it. So them two have been like kind of like pitted against each other almost in a way, not like negatively,
Right.
but like just from a competition standpoint, since they were in high school. But
Yeah.
she's so skilled, bro. Bruh, can score from anywhere, bruh.
Anywhere.
She gonna get to her spots, mid-range, three-pointer, can hit free throws. Like, there's no flaws in her game, bro.
She's number one. I'm telling you.
Nah, she's tough.
Bro, I'm telling you. She comes out deep. She's one of our picks. Hands down.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be a conversation if Juju was healthy this year, but that's not the case.
Exactly.
We got to go off what we've seen.
Exactly.
And absolutely, she would be the number one pick. In this draft class.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, she, like I said, she just so skilled, bruh, on both ends, bruh. Can guard multiple positions, very versatile. And got UConn in the position that they're at right now as the top team. We all know that UConn isn't in the strongest conference.
That's true.
But they're non-conference. They won all the games that were presented to them, right? Yeah. They beat everybody that was in front of them. And that's all you can ask for.
That's all you can ask for.
I mean, beat who's in front of you. I can't control that we didn't play, UCLA or USC or, some of these other top teams. But, hey, as long as they're healthy, come March, we're going to see.
No, that's a fact, brother.
We're going to see.
That's a fact. We're gonna be able to really get to it at that point for sure. So here's my plea one more time, Charlotte. I know the W is in turmoil right now. I know there's a lot happening right now. Will there be a season? Will there not be a season? What I would ask is, while they are trying to figure it all out, y'all throw your name in the ring, because in 2 years we could have an opportunity to go get Miss Sarah Strong. How great would it be to start the Charlotte Sting franchise back with Miss Sarah Strong coming back home to North Carolina? Come on. I mean, what better way to start your franchise, Charlotte, than to bring home Miss Sarah Strong with the number one overall pick to the Charlotte Sting? That would be insane. So, I don't know what I got to do, who I got to talk to. I don't know, what kind of calls need to be made. Don, we'll give Don a blank check to come coach a team. I don't know what it's going to take. You can coach both South Carolina and Charlotte. I mean, it's up the street. You feel me? Like, it ain't nothing. We'll get you a little private drive or whatever you need. You did, like, one little helicopter. We fly out to Columbia, drop you on top of the Hornets roof. It's okay. And we ain't worried about it. We figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Whatever you got to get done to get this team here. Imagine Sarah Strong coming back to North Carolina. The hoop. All right, back to hoops, man. I just had to make a quick little plug, quick little plea to the people.
Yeah, we gonna see, man. Like I said, man, it's a lot of top teams. You still got UCLA there with Lauren Betts, 6'7". She's gonna be a top pick. Kiki Rice. Sure. They got a squad out there, so we're gonna see what they do. Got Texas and Vandy still in the top 5, both in the SEC. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 teams? Yeah. 4 teams in the SEC in the top 10.
That's a fact. They hoping. They've been getting after it. Texas is really, they've been up and coming for the past couple of years. And so this year I really think, like, is this the year for them to get over the hump, right? We've been looking at them for the past couple of years saying, they got Booker, right? And she a junior, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so, she's a junior. So she got one more year too. But still, they've had these pieces, and so now can they, like you said, come conference tournament time? It's gonna be crazy in the SEC, and then come tournament time, you know, we're gonna keep squabbling again because they've also had South Carolina's number at one point in time this year, right? They beat them once by 2, then they lost to them by 3. So they battle. They're not scared of South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? They're hooping with South Carolina, who's been dominant for the past decade almost in SEC. So, you know, could this be the year somebody finally knocks off Don and the girls?
Yeah, we gonna see, man. Like I said, that SEC is deep, bro. And speaking on Texas, like they're how can I describe it? Like they're feisty, bro. Like they're gonna play defense. We know Vic Schaefer's gonna play defense. The question is, can they get enough scoring with Madison Booker? Can Roy Harmon be consistent enough, getting you, 15, 20 points a game? Jordan Lee, the freshman, can she score consistently?
Yeah.
And that's really going to be their problem moving forward, or something to watch for them. I wouldn't even say a problem, but something to watch for moving forward is, can they score enough? Because like I said, we know they're a good defensive team. They're going to compete with anybody on the defensive end. They're going to make it tough. They're going to force turnovers, as we saw against South Carolina. They forced a lot of turnovers. It was making it hard for South Carolina to even inbound the ball. So we're going to see, man. SEC going to be tough. They got a pretty light schedule, wrapping up January before they play Oklahoma, LSU, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, back to back to back. You got four ranked opponents back to back like that. Like that February stretch going to be tough for them. So we're going to see, man. A lot of good hoops to come, bro.
That's a fact. A lot of good hoops indeed. What's next on the docket, brother? We got to shop up about, man.
Got to talk about these transfers.
Okay.
You mentioned Latson earlier. How have you felt about what you've seen from her so far this year at South Carolina? She led the country in scoring last year, and now she's like a piece of the puzzle in a sense, right? At South Carolina.
That was my, not fear, but I think that was something I was worried about. It was because, she had the green light at Florida State to do whatever. She's the number one option, number one scoring option on offense. She has, the abilities to kind of just do whatever with that team. And so coming to South Carolina, I knew that wasn't going to be the case. So what she can be able to fit in as a piece to this puzzle that Don has always had, right? As of right now, you could say, no, she doesn't fit that scheme. She doesn't fit that system. She kind of needs that free reign. And shout out to 1K. You know who you are. She sent a tweet yesterday that talked about, the same way that, Haley Van Lith was not a good fit for LSU's scheme, Latson may not be a good fit for South Carolina's scheme. And we saw what she did when she was by herself. When she's able to have the green light and to kind of lead the team by herself, she's dominant, right? She led the country in scoring. And so now I saw her go 0-9 at one point the other night, right? She was really just not hooping like herself. And I think her being in this particular system and her not having just I'm gonna take over the team kind of thing kind of plays into that. I think it plays into the confidence some. I think it plays into the way that she hoops some. We look at somebody like, we gotta talk about this too. This is a add-on topic for later on. But Miss the product. I don't know how she's fared this. You haven't paid too much attention to her, but when she was at Rutgers, she thought she was going to get the opportunity to just kind of take over and do what she wanted to do, and it wasn't necessarily the case. So she wanted to transfer, and now she's at Penn State. Yep. So I gotta look at her numbers, but I think it's in the same vein because, like I said, to this point, Latson had opportunity last year at Florida State to kind of do whatever, and now she's kind of like not fitting. So will she transfer again? That's the question. Does she leave and go somewhere else?
She done. This her last year.
Dang.
It's lasting last year. So
dang.
It's WNBA draft for her after this.
So now the question becomes, have you messed up your draft stock? That's the question. Because if you don't win a ship at South Carolina, which I'm sure you came to South Carolina to do, because you weren't going to, let's be honest, you were not winning the ship at Florida State. So I think you came to South Carolina to try to win a ship. So if you don't win that ship, Do you regret the transfer?
I think to answer your question, I'll go back to Latson and South Carolina, but I think that it's not the all in be all if she doesn't win a championship. And I think that it actually could help her, right? Like we talked about earlier with Audi, right? If you go to a WNBA team, you're not necessarily going to be the focal point of the offense.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how can you succeed and thrive in a system? And I think maybe that's a learning lesson for her too that she's getting now. And we've been seeing it with HVL. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't work out necessarily at LSU. She actually had the opportunity to transfer again to go to TCU.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like she got to see, okay, I'm playing with Angel, I'm playing with Anissa, right? The offense is running through me. And granted, she was hurt this year in Chicago with the Sky and the WNBA, but like I think that's a learning experience in itself, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to play with other stars. You have to be able to play with other scorers.
That's a
And I
fact.
think that as long as Latson is able to do that and show that she can do that, I think she'll be fine moving forward in the WNBA. But definitely, like you said, the goal was to win a championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will she do it? I don't know because South
Yeah.
Carolina has been looking up and down this year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's no rhythm, there's no consistency to their offense, and I think that's playing a factor in her production as well, right? You don't know who they're running plays for. You don't know who the offense is running through. Sometimes it's Raven looking to get her shot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's Tessa got the hot hand. Joyce might have the hot hand. Ocott might have the hot hand down low. And it's just like, okay, where do I fit in with this offense? How do I try to find my shots?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think what she showed the other night was that, okay, let me try to get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Yeah, my shots aren't dropping. Yeah, I haven't scored the whole first half. But right before halftime against Oklahoma, she was able to get to the free throw line. And maybe that can spark something. You see it go in through the net. Maybe that could spark something moving forward. But I think first of all, they got to figure out their offensive flow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've figured that out. We've played what 20-something games,
20-some games, yeah.
and against Oklahoma, it looked like they still hadn't figured it out. Nobody came to hoop outside of Raven. So
That's a fact.
we're gonna see, man. Hopefully South Carolina can figure it out. But for Latson, yeah, I think this is a good learning lesson for her moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think that she'll learn from this and grow from this and go into the WNBA ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she ain't got no choice. She ain't got no choice. You either
Yeah.
gonna figure it out or you're not gonna survive in the W. That's the real honest to God truth at this point.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, she came here to win. And not to say that she's still a hooper, right? At the end of the day, she can still score. But I think USC's game, South Carolina's game has always been feed the hot hand. But no one's really been hot for real. You know what I'm saying? And so like you said, you gotta figure out the offensive flow and somebody gotta get hot and keep feeding them the rock. So yeah.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the product, Kiyomi McMiller, for everybody who don't know who we talking about. She goes by the product. But like you said, she was at Rutgers. She transferred to Penn State. She's actually been hooping. Now, if you know anything about Penn State's not a good program. They weren't good last year. They aren't that good this year. They've been a little bit better this year, but like they aren't winning the Big Ten this year, right? They still got Gracie Marco down low, a big that can score. So her and Kiyomi have been hooping, but like they're not a big threat for the Big Ten. They're not making the NCAA tournament. They aren't making the NCAA tournament. So she's gonna put up great numbers. She's been putting up good numbers.
Yeah.
But they aren't beating any of the top teams in the Big Ten or in the country. So I guess congrats to her. At least she's not getting into it with the coach this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if she transfers again, unless she just likes, I don't know, having the ball in her hands, being able to do what she wants to do.
I think that's the case because they're 7-13.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely horrible. And they lost to Rutgers, her former school. At home, by the way. So yeah, I don't know, man. You're transferring and you're scoring at what cost? Like you said, if you losing, who's paying attention to you for real? Who's paying attention if you losing?
But I think we see this like, and this is not just a basketball thing, bro. Like this is across sports, bro. Like you can look at the football landscape too with the transfer portal. It's like, yo, these kids just want to do what they want to do, right?
That's a fact.
Especially when they get a bag for it. Like that changes everything, bro. If I can get paid now
Yeah,
to hoop,
that's true.
I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna get 20.
Yeah,
Regardless of win or lose, I'm gonna get mine. So we gonna see. Hopefully that changes, that shifts in the mindset. Because bro, like that's not that's not a good way to be performing and trying to hoop, bro, and
that's what I'm saying.
get make a name for yourself.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because if you don't make a name for yourself, who's gonna draft you? You're gonna be overseas quickly, quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like I had forgot about her, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Until I thought about it, until we was talking about Miss Lasson here. I said, oh snap, I forgot about the product a minute ago. Like you go from one bad school to another. To really, like I said,
Bro, hold on. I gotta pull up the standings, bro. Because I'm pretty sure like those were the bottom teams last year. Penn State was the worst team in the Big Ten last year. They went 1-17 in Big Ten play.
that's crazy.
They were last, and that's where you transferred.
That's what you transferred.
Rutgers was 3-15 in the Big Ten last year.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what are we doing?
You really don't value winning anymore.
Compete.
Yeah. I think it's that they really value the bag, bro. That's really it. I'm not mad at them valuing the bag, but like, do we want to be winners anymore? Like,
And now we look at it. Penn State 0-9 in the Big Ten.
bro,
Rutgers 1-7 in the Big Ten.
terrible. And guess who the one win was against?
Penn State.
Penn State. Ain't that something? That is crazy. I mean, it's gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
So at some point, she gonna have to pull a Latson and try to go join a winner. I think that was Latson's move was to try to go join a winner, right, and prove that she can fit into a system.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like you said earlier, that was definitely a part of that strategy because it's like, okay, if I don't prove that, will my draft stock, like you said, I look at it from the viewpoint that you spoke on, it definitely can help your draft stock because it's like, okay, I've proven now that I can fit into a system and still be a winner and still get mine. So the product, Miss Kiel Miller, I mean, you got to show something because if not, you're on your way out the door.
And I remember reading an article like when she was in high school, she was getting recruited. She was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go to UConn. I want to be a part of the teams that's trying to knock off these big time schools." You're at the worst teams in the Big Ten. You're not knocking off anybody.
Yeah, and I think what people really mean to say is that I want to go somewhere where I can be the one. And that's what a lot of these kids want to do these days. I think they go to these other schools because they tell them in the recruiting process, oh, you can be whatever you want to be here. We're going to give you the green light to do whatever you want to do as a freshman.
And I know we talking about transfers right now, but like when you look at somebody like a Michaela Blakes, right? She went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
She's one of the top scorers in the country, but they're winning games.
Yeah.
They're a top 5 team in the country now.
Yeah.
So like if you do decide to go to these, lower level, big time schools,
yeah,
at least try to get some help.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can still be the number one option and have help.
Oh, for sure. Indeed.
So I think that's also a part of it too. Like, convince them to send you out some more money, some more NIL money, so we can get some better talent around us. Let's actually compete.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You gotta want to compete though. You got to be like I'm a wager for Ali and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave USC, South Carolina, and I still want to go to a competitive school where I still may have an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament like an LSU, right? And I think that's a good segue going to talk about her because it's like, okay, leaving USC, I get why she left. She wanted to be, more of a scoring option, have more say so in her play time and different things like that. And she's now going to LSU, and I'm gonna let you speak to that because I think she's hooping from the numbers at least, but I think you're able to more speak to that from her actual totality as a player now. I don't think she's starting at LSU, so I think that was something else that she wanted to do was start. And so, is she upset again? Will she decide to transfer again? Right? I think she got another season. This is her junior year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So going into that, with this being her junior year. And her not starting again, does she decide to say, hey, well, I didn't start again this year. Well, Big Four is leaving. So she can say, I'll stay, take over. Or she going to say, I'm gonna leave and go get one more opportunity to try to lead a team myself.
Yeah, and that's been interesting because like it's been up and down for all year. Like, pretty much how it was at South Carolina,
Yeah,
right? Like 1 minute she gives you something spectacular, the next minute is like, oh, you're questioning it,
yeah,
right? And like you said, she's been coming off the bench again this year. The one game that she did start, they lost to Vanderbilt, right?
yeah,
So clearly we got to go back to the drawing board, right? That
yeah,
didn't work. We tried to let you get your shots and it didn't work. So now we're gonna go back, gonna move you back to the bench. And I mean, she's pretty much in a similar role as what she was at South Carolina.
mm-hmm,
Um, and like you said, she's playing with Big Four, she's playing with Michaela Williams.
mm-hmm.
They were already there.
No
They were
fact.
already established. We knew what they could do.
Yep.
Big Four is probably gonna be a top 5 pick in the WNBA draft this year. Michaela Williams is whenever she is in the same class as Malaysia. So whenever they come out, she's probably going to be a top pick as well.
Yeah.
So next year, like you said, maybe she could transfer. I don't really see it. I
Hope
think I
not.
think she'll stay. Um, could she transfer? Absolutely. But I think she'll stay and play with Michaela and probably be a starter next year. Like you
Yeah.
said, Big Four is going in the draft. So I think that changes a lot. Um, but it's like, what is she? Like, we know that she's an electrifying talent. We know that she can score. We know that she can
Yeah.
pass. But like, when it comes to, not to say that she's not a winner, but like, how does that look for LSU, right? Like,
Yeah.
does that look like you getting 20 points per game? Or does that look like you getting 12 points and 6 assists, right? What does that look like? So I think that's something that they're still trying to figure out at LSU. And like, they're still a top 5 team. Like
Yeah.
we talked about, like, despite this being a conversation all season, they're still winning games.
Oh, for sure.
They need to, right?
Yeah.
And they're still going to compete for a championship. Like you mentioned, you went from South Carolina to LSU. That's like a lateral move in a sense, right?
Indeed.
Not a downgrade. You're still going to compete for championships. You're still going to compete against those top teams. So now it's just finishing.
Yeah.
They got to be able to finish.
Yeah. That's a fact, brother. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I agree with you. I think that she does stay because it gives her opportunity to now start and another year in the system. So it's like you gain confidence with Kim. So it's like, okay, now it's my time to hopefully shine your senior year. So we're gonna see what happens, man, with Miss Mwaja Fawali and what she decides to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of transfers, man. And some of them hooping, some of them not hooping. You got Cody McMahon at Ole Miss. She just had a terrible game against Georgia, but before then she was hooping.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss is always gonna compete. They're gonna be in that middle tier of the SEC, middle of the top tier of the SEC. And Coach Yo gonna have them hooping. So I think that was a good move going from Ohio State to Ole Miss for her.
Yeah.
So we gonna see, man. A lot of good hoops in the SEC, the Big Ten.
Yes, sir.
But let's move on, man. Let's go on to talking about a team we was talking about a good bit so far. Is South Carolina still a threat? We saw them get knocked off by Oklahoma. We saw them lose earlier in the season to Texas.
Yeah.
What do they need to do to make sure that they continue to be a championship contending threat, or do you think it's just gonna be a slip up?
I'm never gonna lose faith in Don Staley. I'm gonna start off the conversation by saying that. But what I will say is that they got to figure it out, like we've been saying, offensively. I think that's their biggest thing right now. They don't know what their offensive identity is, and with 10 games left in the season, give or take, you should know that by now, right? And yeah, you've been able to kind of dominate everybody else, but it's tournament time, conference tournament time. We just talked about how crazy the SEC is going to be. So you need to go into that tournament with saying, okay, here's the game plan, here's how we're going to run this offense. And I think right now, as of today, yesterday or the day before we watched that game against Oklahoma, they seem to be still figuring it out. And they couldn't really get anything concrete going.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little shocking because Don teams usually don't rock like that. They usually kind of have an identity, whether it is I'm led by the bigs most of the time, or last year, I was led by guard play a lot. And so what's your identity now? You got should be dominant guards and Joyce Edwards. and Ocott, right? I mean, not guard, excuse me, Biggs and Ocott and Joyce. Then you brought in Latson, a dominant guard. You had Raven Johnson, who knows your offense. You got Tessa, who out there who should know your offense. So in theory, and on paper, we shouldn't be having these issues this late in the season. Do I think they bounce back? Heck yeah, they definitely will bounce back by the end of the season for sure. So my question is, your question is USC still a threat? I definitely say heck yeah, because they still got Dawn at the end of the day, and Dawn gonna be Dawn, and she's shown that she's top 2 college coaches in the country, women's or men's, honestly. So I have faith in Dawn to get it figured out, but these girls definitely got to get it together on the offense side of the ball for them to be considered a full blown threat by me.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, brother. Like we talked about all episode, bro. The offensive end, and even coming into the season, right? Like that was a concern that Don had about the team. It's like she didn't know what the identity was going to be when she was talking with the media before the season started.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's January 24th right now, we're still having conversations about what the identity of this team is. That's concerning.
Very much so.
Like you said, it's only like what, 10, 12 games left in the regular season before tournament play. You shouldn't be having this conversation about your team right now.
No, you should not.
And I know they played the top team at Oklahoma. They got some veteran experience over there with Reagan Beers. Reagan Beers was just bullying them. And then Aaliyah Chavez just went fed in overtime. I think she scored like 15 or 26 in overtime.
Yeah.
But I think from an identity standpoint too, like you got to have an identity on the defensive end too.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to get stops. Even if you're not scoring, I say this all the time. You got to be able to get stops. We can have a battle. We can have a ugly game.
Yeah.
But I can't let you just score on me and then I'm not scoring on the other end. Like I got to be able to get stops.
That's the one.
And I think that's where it starts too with South Carolina. Aside from the offense, allow your defense to turn the offense.
Yeah.
Try to figure out how to get the rebounds, force turnovers, something.
Yeah.
To where at least if you're not scoring, you're getting more opportunities than the other team. I was watching a mid-major game the other night. It was UMBC versus NJIT.
Mm-hmm.
And UMBC couldn't hit a shot. But like when you looked at the stats, they had taken like 20 or 30 something more shots than NJIT. And they were losing, but they ended up coming back and winning that game. They gave themselves opportunities. Despite them missing shots, they gave themselves opportunities to score.
Yeah.
And I think when you give yourself opportunities to score, that's going to be good. They got to figure it out, though, on the offensive end. Some type of identity, whether that's playing through Joyce, whether that's playing through Ocott, or allowing the guards to lead. Like maybe they see that, okay, we need Latson to play like she played at Florida State now.
Yeah.
And despite her struggling the other day, like that might be the best offense.
That's true. That's true, brother. Like I said, because they got Don, I'm never gonna lose hope in them. But SEC tournament's gonna tell me a lot. That's gonna tell me a lot. Because like I said, because it's the SEC, you can play with nothing but dogs the whole tournament. So that's gonna let me know what kind of team they're gonna be come the actual tournament. So I'll be watching that heavily. And it's typically what in Greenville, right? So man, it would be great if I could get to a game. Honestly, it would be super dope. But we'll see. So I'll be watching the rest of the way because let me peep the rest of their schedule, to be honest with you. I don't even know.
They got Vanderbilt tomorrow.
They got Vanderbilt. Yeah.
Then they got Auburn. They got to go to Auburn.
Okay.
And then February, they got Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Tennessee, LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri, and then they finish with Kentucky. So they got a tough little stretch come February.
Yeah.
And then that last game against Kentucky. So they definitely going to be tested going into conference play.
For sure.
So we going to see, man. Those games should be fun.
Yeah. That February to March stretch ending the season will let me know all I need to know. Honestly.
About a lot of these teams, specifically in the SEC.
Yeah. It's gonna let me know all I need to know. So I'll be watching. I'll be locked in come February for sure. That's a guarantee. I'll be locked in with them. Because I got to see it, man. I got to see it. And I got faith because, South Carolina is still South Carolina. I think it's definitely an opportunity. But right now, UConn's running away with it.
Yeah.
UConn's running away with it right now, low key. Low key. Unless UCLA got something to say a little bit later on.
Yeah, we gonna see, man. Like I said, the Big Ten is deep as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Big Ten, one of his newest members, Trojans. The other US, no Juju this year. We know she's out for the season.
Yeah.
And they have been struggling this year. Jazzy Davidson's been hooping. Kennedy Smith has been in and out the lineup recently, but she came back against Michigan State the other night and was playing. But it's just like not enough offense right now. And Jazzy is only doing what she can as a freshman. As one of the top players in the country coming in this year. But it's not enough.
At all. At all.
Do you think they'll make the tournament? I think we got to start having this conversation now. Do you think they'll make the tournament?
No, I don't even want them to make the tournament. And because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why real quick. I mean, it's a clear distinction and difference from when Juju's on this team to when she's not. When she wasn't here 2 years ago, they were sorry. They got her that freshman year, they were cold. She's not there this year, and they still had the number one player in the country come into it to their team in Jazzy Davidson, and they're still sorry. So it's clear who the best player on this team is. It's clear. No disrespect to Miss Jazzy Davidson, because you came in as a freshman, leading the team in scoring, do what you need to do. But without Juju, there's no catalyst. There's no spark. There's no nothing. It's not there. Nobody's fearful of USC without Juju. I'm going to be honest.
No, that's facts.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. So next year, we can talk about next year when Juju decides to come back. They got Jazzy, and they got another top recruit in the country coming in. And I believe she's a guard as well. And then, like you said, they also have just the top recruiting class overall. Then they may be, back to some dominance. But this year, I would not even want to make the tournament. It's going to be a waste of your time. Prepare to get better in the offseason. Let's work on our craft. Let's get our start back. And then let's come hoop again next year. Now, next year's going to be interesting because, how do you work with Juju, Jazzy, and then the number one recruit? You know what I'm saying? Again, next year. So next year, we'll have some things to talk about. But this year,
That man said nobody fears USC without Juju.
Without Juju? Nah, there's no fear in my heart. Bring on whoever.
It's sweet over there.
It's super sweet. It's super sweet.
And USC on the schedule? Bet.
I watched their game early this year. I'm pretty sure it was USC versus South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
I know
I
they
watched
played
Jazzy
NC
Davis.
State.
Huh?
They played NC State earlier this year.
Somebody else. That's the game we all watched together. I had to go back and look at their schedule. It was the game we watched with USC. Because I remember seeing Jazzy. I wanted to see Jazzy Davidson how she was.
Oh, yeah. They did play South Carolina.
Okay, but I know what. Okay. I watched that game and I was okay. Let's see how they're gonna do with no Juju, and it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Jazzy. Like I said, Jazzy, she gonna get hers, but like Juju brings the team together. She's the glue. Yeah. They ain't got nothing right now. They ain't got nothing. They a little bit above average, but it ain't much. It ain't much at all. So
nah, that's real. That's real. I think as far as making the tournament, I gotta look at the rest of their schedule, but they off name, they might sneak in if they can get a couple of upsets.
They got Michigan tomorrow. They got Iowa. Then they got They got
Rutgers and Northwestern. They should
Northwestern should win both of them games.
Illinois is actually a good team. They just that should be a good game. That could go either way. Indiana. That could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin can go either way too.
They're gonna lose
Ohio State. They should beat Penn State,
right?
And they're gonna lose to UCLA.
Exactly.
Yeah, they probably not making it. I was gonna try to make a case with him, but looking at their schedule,
no sir,
they're not getting no upsets.
Pack it up, pack it up.
Get ready for next year.
Yeah.
Try to stay healthy. Hopefully nobody get hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Right? Yeah.
And get ready for summer workouts.
Yeah, no, for real. We'll try again next year.
Yeah.
And then they might try to get a transfer. If somebody big decides to transfer, they're gonna need a big.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of guards, so they gonna need definitely need a big to go along with Juju coming back, and then Jazzy, hooping. So next year, like I said, we'll have some conversation. But this year, it's just a tough year, and you
Yeah.
can't look at nothing else outside of Juju not being there. I mean, yes, last year you had Kiki Area Finn, yes, but you also had Juju, who was giving you 25 easy a game, easy, just knocking down buckets every game. So you ain't got that this year. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think Jazzy also gotta figure out a way to get the ball inside more. I think she settles for a lot of threes. I've watched a few games with them playing, and it's like she can hit it, but like you could have got a better shot at the same time.
yeah,
So I think when she's off, it really looks bad, especially not having Juju, and especially not having anybody next to her that can go get a bucket as well.
yeah.
Um, at that high of a level like she can, it is concerning, and I think that's hurt them this season, just not having that 3-point shooting. But I
Mm-hmm.
think getting Juju back is definitely going to help next year. But like you said, that's going to be interesting to see how they play.
Yeah,
Like, can everybody play alongside Juju?
that's also true.
We
That's
gonna
also very true.
we gonna see how that dynamic works next
Yeah,
year. But
yeah,
like you said, this year is probably a wash,
it's true.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's true.
And you hate to see that for the coach because like Lindsey Gottlieb is a pretty decent coach, but if you really struggle this year, like I think she'll probably keep her job as long as Juju's there.
Oh, for sure.
Once Juju's gone, it wouldn't surprise me if Lindsey's gone. Whether she decides to take another job or whether she gets fired.
Yeah,
Because without Juju, we clearly see how
we
this team looks
see how this looks.
bad. So
Real bad.
we gonna see, man. It's gonna be an interesting season, man. These last few weeks as we enter February and into March, but good hoops, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Excited for it, man. Whew. Yeah. So we appreciate y'all tapping in, man, with another episode here at the Winning Shot Podcast. There's a lot we want to kind of just talk about with this women's stuff because it's been a very, very intriguing season. And we're getting to the point, we're getting to the end of it, we're getting to some really good games in February. If you haven't taken some time, like myself, to really sit down and dive into the women's side of college sports, this is the perfect time to do it because there's going to be a lot of good games towards the end of the season, plus conference tournaments as well. So I invite you to tap in with the women's college sports so that you are able to give your own opinion, have your own mindset, and see if what we're saying is validated, based and backed up, based upon the play on the courts here very soon. Once again, we appreciate y'all tapping into the Winning Shot Podcast. Continue to share, like, comment, subscribe, comment again. Yeah, because I like when y'all comment for sure. When I get back on social media soon, I'm be back. I like to have good old-fashioned debates with the fans in the comments, man. So we appreciate y'all once again. We look forward to our next appointed time together. And I got some good things to talk about here soon with just sports in general, especially with football as well, because we're getting to a whole nother season. But this is not the podcast topic for that. It's the Winning Shot Podcast. Once again, got Hundo, we got John, and we appreciate y'all. We'll see you at the next appointed time. Peace.
Yes.